So, round number 1, we begin on question 1, Masonic starter. Remember, lodge name, lodge number, and your name. Keep talking so the screen stays yellow. Question 1, who places his column erect when the lodge is engaged in Masonic business?
Olive Union, Stephen Morley.
Olive Union, Stephen Morley.
Senior Warden.
The senior warden, absolutely. Now then, you've met William before. He was so excited. He's wanting to do this again. Come on up, William. You're up. And his chosen specialist subject is Greek mythology. Right, question 1, nice and loud.
How many labours did Hercules have to complete?
How many?
Labours did Hercules complete?
7.
Who said that?
Chris, remember it's Olive Union only.
Oh, sorry.
It was 7 or 5.
I think it's 7, Steve.
Go for 7, Steve.
7 was mentioned right at the beginning, so it might have been a clue.
That was me.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be guided
7.
by me.
7?
How many was it?
12.
It was the 12 labours of Hercules.
Oh,
Right,
we should have added them together.
He was rescued by Perseus from Cetus.
The Kraken. So, the film Clash of the Titans, what was the name of the damsel who was rescued by Perseus from Cetus, known in the film as the Kraken?
It was Princess Persephone or something like that. It was.
No idea.
No,
Who?
sorry. Don't know.
No, sure. Go on then, William. The answer is?
Princess Andromeda.
Andromeda. And then the queer Princess of Argos, not related to the shopping brand. Right, and number 3.
Who was a weaver turned into a spider by Athena? Multi-choice. Either you can choose Arachne, Calypso, or Circe.
So, who was the weaver turned into a spider? He's chosen these himself. Who was the weaver turned into a spider by Athena? It's a multi-choice. Was it number 1, Arachne, number 2, Calypso, or number 3, Circe?
Well, Arachne is a spider, so...
Yeah, I would say Arachne. Are we all agreed with Arachne?
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct. They got that one. Now you say bye-bye.
What if we change
We're
the
now
mind?
at 3.
You go, you monster.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We'll talk to you. Thanks.
Well
done.
How old is he, Nick? 21?
He's 6. You wait. Some of the questions he asked me. Right. So, moving on. Question number 2, Masonic. Well done, Olive Union. Which globe is on the senior warden's column?
Foster, Paulinus.
Chris Foster, Paulinus.
It is the terrestrial.
Terrestrial is incorrect. I forgot to pass over to
False.
Olive Union.
Celestial.
It must be the celestial then.
It is absolutely right. Well done,
Sorry.
Olive Union. Now, your chosen specialist subject, you know where I'm going with the next 7 rounds, is grammar. Question 1. What is the third person plural of the verb to be?
Third person. Were.
In the present tense. But because I didn't say that, I would accept that because were is perfect in the past tense. Right, number 2. The fox ran quickly. Which part of speech is the word quickly? The fox ran quickly. What part of speech is the word quickly?
It's
an adjective.
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 It's incorrect. It's actually an adverb. An adjective describes a noun, an adverb describes a verb.
Yeah.
Number 3. Which form of verb, sometimes called a mood, indicates a command or instruction? Multi-choice. Is it the imperative? Is it the subjunctive? Or is it the indicative?
So can you just give those again?
Not a problem. So it is the form of the verb that indicates a command or instruction. Is it the imperative, the subjunctive, or the indicative?
My guess, indicative. And it is a guess.
Yeah, I would say indicative.
It's actually the imperative,
Yeah, it was one or the other.
as in the Emperor of Rome was called the Imperator, the commander. Right. Question 3. What does a Grand Lodge officer have embroidered on his dress collar? One of two.
Dave Wheeler, Paulinus 3957. He has
Yep.
laurel leaf.
I would accept that, or an ear of corn on the other side. So absolutely. And your round is rhetoric. So
Oh, heck.
define rhetoric for me. What is it?
Is it debating? Or is it, yes, discussion? Is that discussion? Is it reasoning? It's more reasoning, Dave, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Reasoning sounds better.
Captain Chris.
I'll go with that. Reasoning.
Reasoning or persuasion, either. It's that art of thinking logically. Right, a definition for you. And which Greek philosopher said this? Rhetoric is the art of ruling the minds of men. Which Greek philosopher said that?
No idea, Chris. It could be any, I don't know, Aristotle? Is it a pun?
Plato.
I think Plato.
Plato's better. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Well done. And number 3. Wild and woolly and wet is an example of what rhetorical poetic device? Wild,
Well,
woolly and wet.
it sounds like alliteration, Chris, to me. Whether that's the answer or not, I don't know. Alliteration, Chris.
Well, we'll go with that. If everyone's happy.
Alliteration is the correct answer.
Thank you.
There's poetic devices, but often referred to as rhetorical advices. Question 4. Which Masonic officer is represented by strength?
Olive Union Morley,
Olive Union Morley.
Senior Warden.
The Senior Warden. Well done. You were inches away from saying Junior Warden. I can see
No,
that.
I wasn't.
And round 4, grammar rhetoric. So now we're on to logic. In a series 1, 4, 9, what comes next?
16
In a math
square numbers.
series 1, 4, 9.
16 square numbers.
16.
Absolutely correct. Obviously 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. Well done. Which word, it's a logic puzzle, which word is the odd one out? Trivial, unimportant, important, or insignificant?
I'll go for
Important.
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 Because the rest, logically, are, of course, synonyms. And number 3, which completes this sequence of 4? It's a logic puzzle. Melt, liquid, freeze, something. I'll just say it again, it's a multi-choice. Which word completes this sequence of 4? I got this from an 11 plus, by the way. Melt,
Solid.
liquid, freeze. And the answer is ice, solid, condense, or vapor. But the captain's already said solid. Question 5. What is specie?
Dave Wheeler, Paulinus.
Dave Wheeler, Paulinus.
It's a form of currency paid as wages.
I will accept that. I will go a bit further, though, to explain. It is a base metal, gold, silver, and the like. You don't see it very, very often in English. I suppose the Specie Act of 1836 in America, ensuring that everything was paid for in hard currency. So we've had grammar, rhetoric, logic. So we've now got arithmetic.
Oh, God.
Hello, Quizmaster. Question 1. What is 12 squared?
144, Chris.
Yeah, 144.
Number 2. In a fraction, what is the correct term for the top number?
One is the integer, Chris, and one is the denominator. And I think it's the integer at the top. Is my guess.
Integer?
Yep.
The answer is numerator. It's numerator, denominator, and integer. It refers to a whole number, as in 1 and 2.
Oh, I thought it was a whole number at the top.
And then finally, I want you to answer this. What is in correct maths using the order of operations, 5 plus 3 times 6? Is it 48, 23, or 17? 5 plus 3 times 6.
6 8s, Chris. It's 48.
Well, I think it's 48, but
Oh, yeah.
are we
The
going
answer-
through that?
What are the options?
48,
answer.
23, or 17?
I
Chris,
think it's
give your
48.
Is it not 23?
No, Chris,
Why,
just
why,
answer.
John?
It's dogmas, isn't it?
Chris, answer.
23.
No, say 48, Chris.
Chris, what is your answer? You've been shouted at from two corners. What's your answer?
Right, I'm going to go with 48. I'm going to kick myself if it's 23.
The answer's 23 because the big mass or bod mass, the order of operations, you always multiply before you add.
Nick, I left school at 15.
Sorry.
Okay. What is the Latin motto on the scroll under the arms of Grand Lodge?
Dave Wheeler, Paulinus. It's Aude Vide Tace.
Yeah, perfect. Listen, see, and be silent. And your round is clearly geometry.
What's that Coronation Street?
Yeah.
Right. What is the formula to find the area of a circle?
Pi r squared.
Thank you, John.
Say that, Chris.
Yeah, pi r squared.
And that would be correct. A is pi r squared, but you know, that's fine. What is the longest side of a right angled triangle correctly called?
Is it not the hypotenuse?
That'll do.
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll go with that. Hypotenuse.
Okay. And finally, how many faces on an octahedron?
I would. An octahedron is 8, John.
Is it
But
not an octagon 8?
yes, so an
Yeah.
octahedron would be
Oct-
8 times 8, 64. Do you reckon?
Can you pronounce it again, please?
Yeah, no
Nick?
problem. I'll read the whole question. How many faces on an octahedron?
Faces.
It might be 8 then, 8 faces.
I'll go with you, John. Whatever you say.
Well,
Yeah, go on.
Oh, we'll
Go
go
on,
with
John.
8.
Absolutely. Sides on an etc. On an octagon, it's 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional. It's checking that you know that. And I'm just going to go over to Dave Buckingham. Dave Buckingham, have we got a score thus far?
You hear me, first of all?
We can.
Oh, that's good, because I had wondered about. I have Paulinus 65, and I have Olive Union at 55.
I have exactly the same. Paulinus 65, Olive Union 85. We've got 4 more starter questions left. So we go with number 7. What instrument is depicted on the collar jewel of the lodge organist?
Dave Wheeler,
Olive
Paulinus.
Union Paulie.
Dave Wheeler, Paulinus, just.
It's the lyre.
The lyre indeed. And rather timely, that leads on to our next round of music. On the staves of written music, only 4 notes sit on the line. Can you name one of them? On the staves in written music, only 4 notes sit on the staves. Name
Yeah,
one of
I think I might know this one.
Go on, Chris.
Well, I think the 4 notes are F, A, C, and E, aren't they?
They are indeed going bottom to top, they're FACE. Right,
Hold on,
number
mate.
2. How many beats are in a semibreve?
Oh,
I thought. I don't know, Chris. Is it 2?
I think it might be 2.
The answer's 4. A minim is 2,
4.
crotchet is
Oh,
1.
well.
And number 3. I'll give you 5 either way. How many keys on a modern piano?
Oh,
Over
no
to you,
idea.
Chris.
No idea.
Well,
You've got to
I'm
give me a
thinking
number.
54.
8.
No, I don't know.
Chris, whatever you say, Chris.
How many keys?
I've no idea, mate.
Keys. 24.
There's more than 24.
Is it?
Yeah, Is
That's
it white
24.
and black?
You've got all the white and blacks, mate. It's more like 84.
Can I press you to a number, please, Chris?
Yeah, well, it's going to be quite high, I think, 84.
You are absolutely correct. There's actually 88, so but you're within 5. Within 5. Oh, there's a lucky one.
Hey.
Number 9. Yes or no? Can a lodge which loses its warrant hold a meeting?
Dave Wheeler, Paulinus. Yes.
No, it must be suspended under Book of Constitution Rule 101. Just merely mentioning it. I should have, because that was a 50-50. Because that was a 50-50, it wasn't possible to pass over to the other side because obviously it's an easy answer. Right. Where in the lodge is the lesson of charity presented to the newly initiated brother?
Still looking.
Paulinus.
Stuart Buckingham. We have you from Olive Union.
Northeast corner.
The northeast corner, northeast part, whichever. Yeah, absolutely. Now we've had music, so those of you following it, we're on astronomy. Number 1, which is the 6th planet from the sun?
Saturn.
I'm waiting for the captain.
Any other offers?
No, but
Saturn. Saturn.
Absolutely.
Well
Now,
done.
number 1. Today, as of today, how far is the Earth from the moon? Multi-choice, because obviously it's on an ellipsis. Is it 220,000 miles, 230,000 miles, or 240,000 miles to the nearest? Which one as of today?
it's a random guess.
Pure guess. Whichever one you want, Stephen.
I would go for the closest, Steve, because there's a big moon at the minute, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
220. 220.
Stephen?
220.
The actual answer is 224, so you're absolutely correct. Then the next one. Who, and I've actually met her, who was the first woman in space?
Tereshkova.
Yeah, absolutely. Valentina Tereshkova. Absolutely. And if you watch when they held the Olympics over in Russia, she was actually one of the flag bearers. A lot of people didn't notice her because she's not as well known. Right, we move on to our next starter question. Who was Abraham's son who was not sacrificed but could have been?
Oh, shite.
We will leave that there.
Union Morley. Jacob. I was going to say Jacob.
The answer is not Jacob, so I can pass over to Paulinus if you want a go.
Might as well have a guess, Chris.
Chris, I don't know, was it Esau? Chris?
I think it was, wasn't it the youngest one?
Benjamin?
Oh, I'm sorry, we're conferring. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Stop. I'll move on. That's actually Isaac. I've got to be strict on the no conferring. I apologise. Next question. Starter again. So back to scratch. Give the next line of the verse. Now the evening shadows closing.
Olive Union Morley.
Olive Union Morley.
Hold on. Born from toil to peace and rest.
One from toil to peaceful rest, I will accept. And your next round after astronomy is, well, I ran out, so I've come up with corn, wine, and oil. So, number 1, red wine from Bordeaux can legally be made from 6 grapes. Name one of them. Grape varieties. You'll have drunk it.
We got Merlot, Shiraz,
Sauvignon,
Pinot Noir. Not that we drink a lot.
Then we're after grapes. We're after types of grapes.
You got Merlot grape, haven't you?
Merlot.
Merlot is absolutely correct. Just for your information, Pinot Noir is only grown in Burgundy and other areas. It's not grown in Bordeaux. It's not allowed. The grapes are Merlot, Petit Verdot, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Malbec, and due to climate change, Cayenne has been introduced in the last few years. Question 2, there was your wine. What kind of corn do you eat from a cob or a can?
Sweet corn.
Yeah, sweet corn.
Jolly green jolly.
Absolutely. And then we move on to our oil question. Canola oil is made from which common UK crop?
Rapeseed. Oilseed rape.
Rapeseed. Oilseed rape.
Either oilseed rape, rapeseed oil. Well done. So we have our next starter question, and that is, which Lincolnshire lodge is also a Greek god?
Dave Wheeler, Paulinus.
Apollo.
Dave Wheeler, Paulinus.
Apollo.
Apollo, well done. Now, I ran out of illusions, so I've come up with water. Which is the largest ocean in the world?
Chris, you've got a choice of one or two.
Is that Pacific?
I think Pacific. Chris?
Yeah, we'll go with the Pacific.
Good. And the next one, fall of water. What is the highest waterfall in the world?
Oh,
Is that the one in Africa?
Got Victoria Falls, haven't you?
yeah, you got the Angel Falls.
Angel Falls.
John, I think you're right there, John.
Yeah, Victoria.
Are we going with that? We'll say Victoria.
The answer is the Angel Falls in Vancouver. And the last very question, what is the longest river in the UK?
I'd be guessing at the 7.
I would have thought the 7, John, yeah.
Yeah, go with that.
Well, we'll go with that one.
It is indeed the River Severn. People underestimate how long it is. They always say the Thames, but it is in fact the River Severn, not by as much as you think. So I think that was a straight sprint. So David Buckingham, I've got my scores and you've got your scores. I think we've got. Have you got what I've got?
I have.
Have you got a dead heat?
Yes.
I've got a dead heat. Don't worry, brethren. I prepared for this. So this basically is a question I'm going to ask you. And what I'm going to ask you is I want you to have a guess. And it's basically who is closest. I'm going to ask Paulinus to go first. But basically, it's a guess to the closest.
Can we confer?
You can confer, and it's one to the closest, but it's not in your interest to confer. So Paulinus are going first, but if they confer, they might give you the answer. Okay. The question is, how many provinces are there under UGLE? How many provinces are there to the nearest?
Chris, it's there are 48 provinces under UGLE, not counting districts abroad. 48, Chris.
We'll go with 48 then.
Right, and would Olive Union like to have a guess any closer?
Can we guess the same?
That would kind of
be a draw.
Well, what either side of it. Next deciding question, because I've got two prepared.
There's one guy in this quiz who's going to have a pretty good idea of how many provinces, but more than the rest of us.
Well, to be honest,
48.
To be honest, he has been wrong.
So, Olive Union, if you voted the same, that's fine, because the actual answer is 47. So what we've got is we've got our next decider. I want you, and this is captains only now.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
With a guess. In which year were Grand Stewards first appointed? Captains only for a guess.
Oh dear. I bet you know this, don't you, David?
No, captains only.
No, I bet he knows it though. Grand Stewards.
Which year were they first appointed?
It's going to be a guess. I'd say 1865.
1865. Where would you like to go, Stephen Morley?
I'm thinking about 1974.
The actual answer is 1729. And that, unfortunately, is the conclusion, because then we have our winner and we do pass that over to Paulinus. We've had an absolute fantastic time. So well done, point, Stephen. So what I will do to Paulinus, each one of these has a trophy, the Links Quiz 2020. So I'll make sure you've got that. 7 inches to remind you. The number of thank yous, I'd like to let you all know that Northants Province, who will be challenging Paulinus, they helped out with some of the Masonic questions. Dave B down there has been absolutely amazing, a scorekeeper.
Yes, well done, David.
A question moderator. William and my wife, I've been wandering around dreaming up questions for quite a while, but most of all, I'd like to thank you. I've really looked forward to these evenings. I've really enjoyed the camaraderie and seeing you all. And remember, it's very easy for me. I've got the answers in front of me. You've all been absolutely fantastic.
Nick, I know you're on a schedule, but thank you very much for all that you've done.
Yeah,
It's been
well done.
Absolutely.
On our behalf, can we also thank Olive Union? That couldn't have been any closer, could it? Brilliant.
No, it really was brilliant.
Well done, lads.
Yes, well done.
Absolutely. Really, really good team. So we did it, hopefully you'll agree, as fairly as possible to the end with a split one on just deciding dates.
Nick, one last thing from me. Met Grand Lodge is counted as a province now, 48.
All right, I'll give you that. But however, it was
no sour grapes.
If they said the same, then we're off. You all take care. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you. This will be on Facebook. This will be on YouTube, Twitter. So keep an eye out for it. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you, Nick.